Okay, hello and welcome to our video series following along with DC4. This is Jim DC, I'm your teacher, and in this very first video of the series, we're going to be just talking about the interface of SolidWorks and how to approach the interface of the program from an advanced level. Most everybody should have a basic understanding of SolidWorks at this point. You've done a few projects. You've finished out quite a few models, you've done some 3D printing, you've done some prototyping, and now it's time to step up your game. So the pretty common misconception about SolidWorks is that all you can do is create really blocky, kind of ugly, chunky sort of forms, and that's really not true at all. I'm going to go here and just open up a brand new file. One thing I wanted to point out right off the bat is this new document window. This style of new document window here is called the novice style, and you can see that it has really big, bright, shiny buttons for you to press, and an even bigger, absolutely humongous tutorials button here, which you're all welcome to click on if you'd like. They are some of the most boring tutorials available, so I would not recommend them. But as the purpose of this class is going to be that we're going to be doing advanced work, we want to go down here and make sure to click on this advanced button, and all that does is change your new document window to this mode here, which has a little bit less exciting smaller buttons for creating a new part, a new assembly, or a new drawing file. But another thing that this offers is if you do have your own computer and you decide that you want to start customizing the interface of SolidWorks and saving that customized interface as a template, your new template files will show up here in this new document window. Okay, and if you're over here in novice mode, you'll only get the options to start up stock files, stock parts, assemblies, and drawings. But under advanced, you'll have access to all those new ones. And so let's just get into it here. We're going to hit OK. And I want to go ahead and customize my command manager at first. That's everything up here at the top. As you can see right now, mine's starting off the bat with Sketch, Surfaces, Direct Editing, and Evaluate. And that's good, but I also would like to add the Features tab as well. So I'm just going to right click on one of these tabs and then just put a check next to Features. There you go. And you can right click on any one of these tabs to bring up the various options you have for your command manager, and whatever you check will show up. Whatever is unchecked, of course, will not be there. And this lineup here that we have is going to be the lineup for our class. We're going to be using the Features tab, the Sketch tab, Surfaces, Direct Editing, and Evaluate. And in this video, we'll go over each one of these tabs and talk about how come they're important and what to look out for as far as using each one. Okay, so here we are in the Features tab. This is the tab where you go to create solid objects and solid forms in SolidWorks. Everything here creates solid forms. Everything that you're so familiar with: extruded boss base, revolve. We've got a bunch of other stuff here that you're familiar with as well, but it's all grayed out. Now, the fact that it's grayed out is kind of an indicator that you need to do something in order to activate those buttons. And in this case, what we need to do is actually go ahead and start up a sketch and create some sort of form. So I'm just going to go here and I'm just going to create like a simple cube. Grab some smart dimensions here and knock out a 100 by 100 cube. There we go. And with that open, we can go here and we'll do an extrusion of 100. There we go. Perfect. So now we have a perfect cube. Okay, there you go. And what you can see up here under the Features tab is that now that we've done that, all of these tools have become available to us. All these things like extruded cut and revolve cut and swept cut. Everything that was grayed out before is now available, and that's because we now have an object built. So that's the Features tab. You know it, you love it. And then moving forward, we're going to also be using the Sketch tab. This is also something that most everybody should be familiar with, but as advanced users, we're going to be playing around a lot more with this button here, Convert Entities. Convert Entities is a really valuable tool, which if you haven't messed with it yet, it allows you to take say like the surface or the edges of a model that you've built and transform them into usable line work that you can then build off of. Nested underneath Convert Entities is another tool that we're going to use a lot, which is called Intersection Curve, and that'll be more understandable when we finally get to it, but it does what it says it does. If you have two forms that are intersecting each other, or a surface and a solid that are intersecting each other, this tool will create line work at the intersection point of those two things. Okay, so that's another one. And then everything else is just going to be same as it was for the Sketch tab here. I want to look at the Surfaces tab next. This is the bread and butter of the advanced SolidWorks user. Creating or using surfaces within SolidWorks allows you to approach the form of your model panel by panel, or sorry, piece by piece. So it gives you a lot more freedom as far as what you can create in the program. This is the kind of stuff that we're going to be using to create really soft and organic ergonomic parts, things like we're going to be doing a toothbrush project, a product that needs to be comfortable not only in your hand but also in your mouth as well, which is even more sensitive. And using these surface tools, we're going to be allowed to create some really cool organic soft shapes that would be pretty much impossible to create using the solid features of the Features tab. Okay. So make sure you have surfaces turned on. These are exactly the same type of surfaces that you'll find in a design program like Rhino or Alias. Surface modeling is where it's at as far as industrial design goes, and we're going to be doing a lot of that in this course. So make sure that puppy is turned on. Okay. The Direct Editing tab is important because as advanced users, you should be able to seamlessly transfer files from one design program like Rhino or Alias into SolidWorks. And then if you'd like to edit that form or edit that CAD data inside SolidWorks, Direct Editing is going to be the thing that's going to allow you to do it. There's a bunch of tools in here like Move Face and Move and Copy Bodies that can allow you to push and pull on a model that was built in another program and edit it slightly. I'm not going to go ahead and say that SolidWorks really likes to play nice with other types of design programs, but it is possible in a pinch if you receive CAD from some other designer or a factory and you need to make some slight adjustments. This is going to be the place where you're going to be able to get it done under Direct Editing. Okay. There's also some really important tools like Delete Face, which we're going to talk about in just a second in our next video, where we're going to be transforming some solids into surfaces and then back from surfaces into solids. Delete Face will do that for us. And then we've got the Split command, which is amazing for all sorts of different stuff. We're going to get into that quite a bit. So a lot to look forward to here in the Direct Editing tab. The last one that we're going to be talking about, or that we're going to be using in the class, is going to be the Evaluate tab. There is a whole lot of tools in here that we're not going to touch, but there are a few that we're going to use almost every day that we touch SolidWorks. So there's the Measure and the Mass Properties button here, which is a really cool way to measure the mass and measure the amount of material that's going into your model. So you can see here I have this gigantic, a massive cube here, and it's telling me all about how many grams of material it is, how many cubic millimeters. And this can be super helpful for when you're 3D printing and you want to give yourself a quote on how much it's going to cost. If you know the cubic inch or the unit weight cost of your 3D printing, then you can use this tool here to get yourself a quote before you ever even send your file in. So other tools that we're going to use inside the Evaluate tab are going to be Zebra Stripes. Zebra Stripes are it's a shader that actually goes onto your model, and this is a really bad example to apply Zebra Stripes to, but what it does is it's a surface analysis tool and allows you to analyze the curvature and the tangency and the curvature continuity of two surfaces that come together. And as we build more and more organic forms, we're going to be using this all the time. So most of the other tools that are inside of Evaluate are for simulation purposes. Simulation Express and Flow Express are some of them. There's also a costing button, which I really hope works well. I haven't messed around with it too much. But none of this stuff is really all for mechanical engineers, not really for industrial designers. So if you're finding yourself with a lot of free time and you want to play around with some stuff, I would suggest playing around with some of these cool toys. But as far as our class go, we're not going to touch on them too much. So that's it for now in this video. I just wanted to go over the tabs that we're going to be using. Just wanted to talk about the interface of the program. Other things that we're going to have to be looking out for is our design tree. As we build more and more advanced models for this class, our design tree is going to have some new things showing up, things like the solid bodies folder versus the surface bodies folder. We're going to get into that in our next video, where we're going to learn about transforming surfaces to solids and solids to surfaces back again. So stay tuned for that one, and we'll get into the design tree and some of the different things to look out for when doing advanced SolidWorks work here. Okay? All right. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next one.